Hello, bonjour, bonjour. The definite article in French. What is it? How can we use it? And what do you mean it's boring? I heard you. You in the back. You. Surely it's not as exciting as wingsuit flying. Oh, surely it ain't. But it's still relevant for whoever wants to speak good French. And I assume it is your case because you are watching this video right now and not some Netflix series or something else. Could be very interesting, but mostly irrelevant for your self development. So, think about it. The definite article, what does it do? It puts the emphasis on a specific person or thing. And this is not just any person or anything we're talking about here. The definite article reminds us that we're talking about something specific that is relevant to the conversation, that you and I, or whoever is involved in a conversation, should know about. And I think, to me, I think that's fly. Okay, so now that we've answered the question of boring, I'm going to show you what the definite articles are in French and how to use them. So fasten your seatbelt, take a deep breath, and gentlemen, start your engines. Boogity, boogity, boogity. This is what you're probably seeing right now. L'article défini en français. In English, we have the, so it's pretty easy. In French, we have four different ones. We have the masculine one, le. We have the feminine one, la. We have the one that happens when you have le that is followed by a vowel or an aspirated H, and more on that in a second. And finally, we have les, which is the definite article for plurals, plural nouns. So here we have this definition we just talked about. The definite article designates a specific thing or person. Let's take examples. Le spécialiste. The specialist. Le spécialiste in French because it's a masculine singular form. Le héros. The hero. Same thing. Masculine and then singular. And then we have the ocean. L'océan. L'océan is followed by a vowel. So le becomes L apostrophe. It's again masculine singular. And then we have l'hôtel. And stop right there for a second because here we have an H, but the H is a consonant, right? No, it ain't a vowel, it is a consonant. I read right. But in French, we have this kind of mysterious H. You know, it's like the kind of you can barely see in the street, the kind with a hat and sunglasses during the day, and he's like walking very slowly, trying to hide under a big coat. This is the aspirated H. He's there incognito, and that H applies to approximately 1/5 of the French words that start with H. L'hôtel is an aspirated H. The word starts with an aspirated H. And in that case, the le becomes L apostrophe. It also applies to feminine words with an aspirated H, and we're going to see that again in a second. But it's good to know. So whenever you stumble upon a word that starts with H, might be an aspirated H, might not. You're going to need to check that in a dictionary. And if the dictionary doesn't tell you if it is an aspirated H or not, you're going to need to go on a website like Lingui to find out whether it is L apostrophe or LE or LA in the case of a feminine. And back to the screen now and covering the secrets of the feminine nouns and the definite article that applies to them. So la statue, the statue, very clear, feminine and singular. So la is the definite article. La hiérarchie, the hierarchy, Here, let me ask you that question. Is it an aspirated age or not? Uh-huh. Definitely not. Otherwise, we would have had L apostrophe. Exactly. I see you're following right now. You're probably sipping on a good cocktail, and I envy you for that because I have no cocktail here. I mean, I could just go and grab a cocktail in the bar, but I'm not going to do that. So we have an island, l'île. L apostrophe. Why? Because even though il is a feminine word, we have a word or noun that starts with with a vowel. I is a vowel. So L apostrophe. And then finally, another weird aspirated age, l'histoire. Une histoire. A story. It also means history. But in this case, it's going to be, we're going to say it talks about a story. L'histoire. L apostrophe H. Why? Because it is an aspirated H. Exactly. I think I heard you say that. And, well, now look. Plurals. Les étudiants. Very easy to form the definite article for the plural nouns in French because we only have les. No feminine, no masculine, no L apostrophe, no aspirated H. Forget about all that. I was about to say, I was about to swear, but I'm not going to swear. And I really don't encourage anyone to swear in general. This is bad. It seems to trigger weird nervous points on the nervous system, which I do not recommend you do. So, les étudiants, les étudiants, the students, masculine plural. Les histoires, the stories, feminine plural. And now, because it's not over, and perhaps unsurprisingly, there are differences between the way that we use definite articles in French and in English, although mostly is the same. Thank God. When you picture a language like Russian or Chinese, must be really unsettling for a Russian person to learn French or a Chinese person. And thankfully, I had the chance to have enough Russian people taking French classes to say that, yeah, it is very unsettling for a Russian person or an Ukrainian person to put the definite article and the indefinite article and the prepositions is a nightmare. Nightmare for those who do not have that same way to deal with those sentence forming uh, problems that French people do not have to think about because they have that natively. Yeah, it is great to be French. It's also great to be Iranian, but this is another topic. French English differences. As you can see, when you have a series of nouns in English, no article. You're going to say results, students, stories. Those things are interesting. But in French, you're not going to say that. You're going to need to have the definite article in front of the word. Les résultats, les étudiants, les histoires. Let's practice your pronunciation for a second. Les résultats. Can you please repeat after me? Les résultats. Les étudiants. Les étudiants. Yeah, excellent. And finally, although there are other exceptions, of course, we're covering a bit of the exceptions because there are gazillion exceptions in French. So we're not going to do that if we don't have hours to cover all of them right now. But when expressing feelings, you're going to need to have an article, whereas in English, you don't have to. I like robots. I'm not saying I like the robots. It would be changing the meaning. But in French, you're going to have to say j'aime les robots. And it applies to verbs like prefer, like, hate, like verbs that convey a sense of feeling. J'aime les robots. I prefer robots. Je préfère les robots. Okay? Um, and it is pretty good to know these things because, yeah, English is not French, French is not English, and we want to point out those differences. Okay, now you are ready to take on the exercise. So click the link down below and see how ridiculously easy it is to get things done when one just gets started.